Hello everyone. Today we're with Kathy Golightly Sanders, who is the Director of Major Gifts with Jewish Hospital and St. Mary's Foundation. Kathy, thanks for doing this today for our students.
It's my pleasure.
If you'll start off just telling us a little bit about you and the foundation and what you do here.
Okay. Jewish Hospital and St. Mary's Foundation is the fundraising arm for the Louisville market of Kentucky One. There are actually two major gifts officers within the foundation. I am Director of Major and Planned Gifts, so I also do the planned giving, and then we have another major gifts officer. And we kind of almost arbitrarily kind of divide up the properties and programs that we have. Specifically, I work with Our Lady of Peace Hospital, St. Mary and Elizabeth Hospital, Southern Indiana Rehab, our ambulatory care programs, our cancer care, and our new Healthy Communities outreach. And then my counterpart does primarily the downtown campus of Jewish Hospital and Fraser Rehab. We are foundation, really in name only. We exist to support the work of Kentucky One here in Louisville.
How did you get into fundraising?
I got into fundraising kind of a backdoor way, and when I started over 20 years ago, it was actually kind of a common way for a lot of people. There weren't that many degree programs, hardly any in fact. Really at that time for people looking to go into nonprofit management, into fundraising. I had graduated from Southern Seminary. I was reaching the point of realizing that ministry needed to be expanded outside of the walls of the church, who was not exactly beating down the door of any woman to be in a pastoral position. So the opportunity arose for me to work with what was then Kentucky Baptist Homes for Children. And I had just the great privilege of working with probably one of the finest fundraisers I've ever known, Brenda Gray, whose passion and dedication to that ministry and the mission really taught me this is how you do it. And for me, being a fundraiser, I've always followed my passion. I have to work with agencies and programs that I see making a direct difference in the lives of people in the community, particularly underserved and marginalized people. So that's truly been the career path that I have followed.
What do you enjoy most about fundraising?
What I enjoy most about fundraising is developing the relationships, connecting people to programs and missions and seeing the difference that's made in their lives. It really is an opportunity to give people a chance to make a difference in somebody's life. And that's amazing. The other piece, I also thoroughly enjoy working with the program staff for the programs that I support, Our Lady of Peace, St. Mary's Elizabeth, and all of the others. Their energy, their commitment to their patients, the people we serve, is contagious. So it really is a profession that is designed for people who get their energy from other people, who want to serve a community, and you have to be a bit of an extrovert. You have to like working with people.
So talk some in detail about what you do in your role, how you secure major donors, how you cultivate them, some of the methods you use, what works well, what doesn't work well.
Certainly. It's a little different in any particular agency or program that you're working with. I joined Jewish Hospital St. Mary's Foundation just almost a year ago. So I came into a program that has an existing donor base, one which we need to grow. It also had an existing donor base that had gone through a lot. Healthcare is changing dramatically. People who were traditionally affiliated with Jewish Hospital having concern, is that identity still there? So really, much of what we've been doing is reconnecting with donors, spending time with them. I make appointments and I go and I sit down with people. I find out, how did you get connected to us? What is important to you about the work that we're doing? When it comes to getting new donors, it really is a matter of working with your existing friend base. we have a strong board. I have a terrific group of people who are very good. I can contact them and say, you know, here's someone that I think might have an interest in what we're doing. Can you make a connection for us? I can call up somebody and just say who I am and say who I'm with, but if they don't know me and they haven't had much experience with the agency that I am representing, it's very easy to say no. But if one of their peers, somebody they trust, a friend, calls and says, I'm involved with this organization and I think you might be interested in some of the things going on, that's what we need, is that open door. So a lot of what I do really is building those relationships and getting people connected to what we're doing, finding what their passion is.
What do you all consider a major gift?
For us, a major gift is $10,000 or above.
Okay.
And that's very different for any organization you're with.
And how many, at any given time, or in a year's time frame maybe, how many major gifts do you all get?
Well, gosh, that's hard for me to quantify that, because we are going for gifts that will range from $5,000 or $10,000 up to $3 million. Now, that $3 million is in with CMS, Medicaid services, but it's the same kind of thing, preparing that highly detailed and difficult proposal that we presented in the fall, and now we're waiting to hear if we're going to get that funding. But it's the same kind of thing. It's the research, it's the working together with your peers to putting together the best proposal. And you're doing that whether you're going to a foundation, a corporation, or an individual. So it's really difficult to say the number of gifts we will have in that category, because the amounts of the gifts will vary significantly. So, you know, it's just all over the board.
Mm-hmm. How do you thank or recognize your donors?
We thank donors primarily through one-on-one, individual. There are donors that they like to give something that honors someone or in memory of a family member, and then there will be a naming opportunity, you know, depending on the level of gift at a facility. But you know, most donors, what they really want is just to find out about the people you're serving. And we like to bring them and give them tours and have them meet the physicians, the staff that are doing the work. And that's really, we think, the best way. There will be other things that come along. We have donors and board members who will give us tickets to a University of Louisville basketball game. And they'll say, use this for donors. And you know, that's a nice little thing that we can do for them. But we don't go buy those tickets. They're given to us and then we'll use them. So we have a very, very low cost ratio. In fact, one of the lowest in town. We stretch $1. We're very good at raising money and doing it for as little as possible.
Mm-hmm. And you said earlier that part of your role is planned giving as well. How do you approach potential donors in regards to planned gifts? Well,
part of it is still some of the same type of work. I am very good at building relationships, and I have a general knowledge of planned giving, and I keep that up and I work, but I know when it is time to guide my donor over to their professional advisors. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I know that there are some vehicles that people can use that can benefit both their family and their charity. Most people, when they give a planned gift or an estate gift, 90% of those are as a simple bequest through their will. And that's very common. It's just like going after a major gift. It's building that relationship, planting the seed. I'll give one example. I have a physician that I'm working with. I've had 2 meetings with him. I envision that he and I are going to meet several times over the next year as I talk to him about what are some opportunities, what are the things after his many, many years of service that he is excited about and would like to see continue. Talk to him about his family situation, and then look at what are some avenues that can benefit family and enable him to leave a gift for Jewish Hospital St. Mary's Foundation. But it's not an overnight thing. And I think perhaps that's one of the things that people assume or make a mistake when it comes to fundraising, is that particularly when you're dealing with a major gift or a planned gift, you're not going to get that tomorrow. You're not going to go out today and, oh gosh, yes, I want to write that check. Every now and then, you're going to get that donor, but generally that's somebody that you already have a relationship with. And I've had one of those, about a month ago, and he said, how much do you need? And I told him, and he wrote the check. So, but those are rare and wonderful things. But again, it happened not because it was his first gift to this organization, but it's somebody I had worked with and built a relationship with over the years. So it's the knowledge that you have to take time. You're asking somebody to give something very significant, and I never take that lightly. You're asking for something they've worked hard for, that they've earned, and you're asking them to give it to you. So I think that deserves my respect and my time that I take with them to find out really where they want their money to go and how they want that to be used.
Are there other common mistakes that you see among fundraisers?
I think some of the things I see, particularly sometimes in younger or newer organizations, there is a trap of relying too much on any single source of funding. I've been on boards for social service agencies, and I know how difficult it is. You get federal dollars for some of the things that you're doing, and it's very easy to get where you're relying on those dollars, and those dollars can disappear at any moment. You are more likely, in terms of when the economy goes bad, if there are difficult times, the dollars that are going to sustain you are the individual gifts, the people you've cultivated, and they're going to hang in there with you. Even if they have to reduce their gifts for a while, they likely will come back. It takes work. It takes time and energy to build those relationships, but I think that's one of the greatest mistakes any nonprofit can do, is that we begin to rely too much on any particular or single source of funding.
Final question. Mm-hmm. The students who are taking my class are interested in nonprofit work, mm-hmm. so most likely will, after they graduate, be trying to find jobs in the nonprofit sector, whether that's fundraising or just general nonprofit mm-hmm. management. What advice would you have for them as they consider a career in the nonprofit world?
Okay. One of the things, and this is so cliche but very true, start your networking. If you're interested in fundraising, there are a couple of organizations in town that are just a great way to begin to meet people. One is AFP, which is the International Association for Fundraising Professionals. They have regular meetings. You just go online and find out. The other is PPPK, and I have to stop and think. It used to be National Committee on Planned Giving, and that's more geared towards planned giving, but you get, in most cases these days, there are very few agencies that have staff members who only do planned giving. You get that in universities and some things like that, but most of us are like me. You're doing 2 roles. Most of the time it's a major gifts and a planned giving. But get out and meet people in the profession. Build your network of people who are already in it. That's your best avenue to begin, to find out what's out there. Then if you have an opportunity, look at those kinds of agencies and things that you're interested in. If you can do any volunteering there, that gets your name in front of them. They get to know you, and that's also beneficial.
Thank you, Kathy. Anything
Thank
else
you.
you want to add?
Just that I think I encourage people to go into it. My daughter's a freshman in college and is working part-time in the development office at Hanover College, and it is gearing her to think about nonprofit. So it's not for the faint of heart. And especially if you go into fundraising, you have to have a thick skin and get used to being told no. And you have to have a passion for what you're doing. That's really the most important thing. I love the arts, but it's not something where I would ever go raise money for it, because I know that's not where my real passion is. So I think that's one of the most important things that you can do, is find that work that you're most passionate about being involved in and get connected there.
Thanks a lot, Kathy.
Thank you.